Hey folks, what is up? It's a little bright out here, but I need to get out here while the sun was still shining to harvest the calendula. I have cleaned that and bleached a bit of it. I'm not quite sure if I have to take it apart. I need to do some more research. If anyone knows in the comments, let me know. So I think to start, we're gonna do the catnip because that bush is huge and I want to get as much of it as possible. It did die last year when I grew it in the garden about December, early January, so it's important that I get as much of that as possible since it probably won't come up again until April. I won't go into the medicinal benefits of catnip. I have another video which I will link somewhere. But I will tell you, catnip has been super, super awesome. I've been putting it in like a sleepy time tea that I make with chamomile, mint, and catnip, and that knocks me out. I am done within 30 minutes of drinking that cup of tea. Now, it will be said that I also drink that near bedtime, but that tea versus straight chamomile, I can definitely tell a difference. So normally, if you were growing this during its main growing season, spring, summer, earlier fall than this, you would just want to pick the fresh, green, new growth. But since this plant is about to go into dormancy here pretty soon, I'm just gonna get as much of it as I can. The quality may be slightly diminished on the older stems. They might have a sharper taste, but with the tea blend I use catnip in, you can't really taste it anyways. Now, I'm not condemning this plant to death. It's still growing and I'm still going to keep growing it, so I'm not going to harvest everything off this plant, but I am going to give it a good haircut. Well, this plant was bigger than I thought, and I'm gonna have to be emptying my basket. I am determined to fit as much into this basket without dumping it as possible first. Let's do rosemary. Oh look, here's my dill plant. Look at this poor guy. The aphid damage on here, now that the plant is dead and I can see it, is very obvious. So, most likely, it died because I didn't catch the pest problem, which is okay. Next time, we'll be better. Now for this rosemary, as it grows, because it's a perennial that'll last through our winter here, its base will become woodier and the new growth will be soft like an herbaceous plant stem. So you want to pick the new soft growth, not the woody growth from your rosemary plant. Now because this is perennial, I can come out here and pick this anytime I want when I want fresh rosemary, but I do also want dried rosemary for a couple of Thanksgiving and Christmas recipes. So that's why I am picking this now. And I'm just going to dry a couple sprigs inside to have it on hand for the upcoming winter season. So hopefully you can see this, but this is what I mean by woody. If you get in here, so here at the central plant stem, it looks like a tree branch, like bark. It's hard, stiff. But up here at the top, soft, supple, bendy. This is the stuff you want. I'm actually gonna take this rosemary into the garage because the leaves tend to fall off and I don't want them falling out of my basket. Put this right here on my drying rack. And I'll use this for my calendula since My entire basket is full of catnip. Now, these are half closed. I got out here a little late. Usually midday is the perfect time to pick calendula because the flowers are fully open. But I'm out here. It's fine. I'm just gonna grab them. I picked these plants clean yesterday. They were covered in blossoms, as you can see by all of the flowers inside my garage. So I'm not too worried about it. My main goal is to keep the spent blossoms from going to seed so that this plant keeps producing as long as possible. I'm also gonna pick some yarrow. Not because I need any, because I don't. I have so much. But the plants seem to do a lot better when I keep them regularly trimmed. And they are doing so well right now through all this cold weather. So I'm hoping I can get them to last all through the winter. Like I said, I don't need any yarrow. This, of course, isn't gonna go to waste. I will still dry it and keep it. If it weren't for the benefit of the plant, I wouldn't actually be harvesting right now. I mean, look at this guy. It's huge. This is that big. I'm trying to pick some of this older, more spent foliage that maybe isn't seeing the sun because it's under the understory of other plants. Basically just foliage that this plant won't miss. See all these flower heads definitely got hit by the last frost we had last night. I think it was probably around 26 or lower. It was 28 outside when I took the temperature gauge at like 7 a.m. So next up, we're gonna harvest some kale. This will be my second harvest of kale from the same plants, which is super exciting that they're still doing so well and regrowing. Actually, first, let's keep with the herbs and finish the herbs off. So I'm gonna harvest some of this mint, not all of it. I don't want to kill the plant, but it is slowing down a lot since the cooler temperatures started. Should I say the cold temperatures started? I'm also I'm gonna harvest quite a bit of these chives because they don't look that good, and I still have peppers. I still have peppers. So I'm gonna dehydrate those peppers tonight, and with it I'll just dehydrate these chives and turn them into a chive onion powder, essentially. Oh, that hurt my heart. I can definitely taste the difference in the new growth chives that have grown and matured in the cooler temperatures versus the chives during this summer when the plant was struggling. Next up is the kale. And since I have learned that Grady loves kale chips that I made, which I'm super excited about, I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep kale growing. Which reminds me, I probably need to start some more kale. That is one thing I haven't done since the whole garden has gone in, is start any more seedlings. And I also have to start seeds for a hydroponics tower that Chase got me. I just don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't know anything about hydroponics. I'm not sure how long this kale will go. How many harvests I have. But it's been doing really well so far. I'm not running out of room But I don't have too much more to harvest, so that's good. This is a big kale plant. This one's half broken and has been touching the ground for a while, so it's just going to the chickens. I'll also pull any unruly stems that are like shading out other plants. For example, this guy is completely shading out this calendula, so I'll probably take this guy down as well. I might just make chips like with the kale chips, but with broccoli greens, and see how they turn out. He's still got plenty of foliage, and he's got this huge one back here, so I'm not worried about cutting that one leaf off. Look how big this is. Sheesh. Oh. I also wanted to harvest this bok choy that I had. I didn't grow it very successfully last year. What I did grow, I didn't really enjoy the taste, so I gave it another try this year, and I honestly haven't used it at all. But I'm making a chicken recipe that calls for spinach tonight. It's like the closest thing I have to spinach, so I'm not too well versed on my bok choy harvesting. It looks about the size that you get in the store, so I'm just gonna pull the whole thing. Yeah. It's a big guy. I ran out of room. So you guys just saw the kale I harvested and how big the plants were, and green and super healthy and awesome. And then look at these. These were planted at the same time as the other ones, and I don't know what's going on. Could be a nitrogen issue. I need to get some fertilizer. I do have fish emulsion fertilizer, which I do use, but Freya is going to decimate my garden beds if I use that. So I just need to buy some blood meal or something. I did fertilize with a fertilizer that was a little bit higher in P and K. It did have some nitrogen in it, and it didn't seem to have made a difference, so I'm not sure what the issue is. Now, of course, I will explore the issue and try to fix it, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it because it's just a couple kale plants. And I am providing lots of food besides these kale plants, so I'm not worried about it. But I am wondering what the problem is. It's weird. If anyone knows, let me know. Look at all these little garlics. How exciting. Hey guys. I really have to look back at my video and see which variety those are, because they're the only ones coming up. That's not true. Okay, the other ones are slowly coming up. I've checked. I did a little digging. But those ones are super fast. So I need to know which ones those are. I've decided that the 2 lettuces that are going to seed, I'm just going to let go to seed and save the seeds from them. I've never actually saved lettuce seeds because I've never actually run out of lettuce seeds. I have still the same packets from 3 years ago when I moved in here. So I'm still using the same packets, but it would be nice to try and get a variety partially acclimated here to my climate. Not gonna happen. Oh no. Okay. And then we have to feed the chickens. Now, if you ask, Megan, are you going to preserve all that tonight? Absolutely not. I'm gonna cook dinner right now after we feed the chickens. And then I'm probably going to watch Yellowstone on the couch. And that'll be my night. All of these herbs, besides the chives, I will most likely air dry in bundles. And I'm also gonna video that process for you guys. It'll be a separate video because I have a lot here. And I'll show you. There's not much to show you. I just tie a rope around them and string them up around the house in weird places. So, hey, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. This one chicken keeps getting out. And I'm not too upset. And I'm not too upset about it. She's not getting into the garden. She doesn't wander too far away from the pen. And I'm certainly not going to butcher her for it. So I am honestly, the only thing I think is gonna happen is she's gonna get picked up by a coyote or a really mean skunk one of these nights, is what I think is gonna happen. Hey, you hungry? No. Sometimes she's good about going in, sometimes she's not. I don't know what her deal is. Excuse me. Our chicken run entry broke, and I haven't built a new one yet, so I just threw a cinder block down and they just hop up onto that and in their door. You don't always need fancy stuff. So I harvest the calendula every day, and I come over here and put it on this. This is actually a queen excluder, but I put it on here to dry, and then I load it up and take it inside and put it in a jar. And I have a lot of jars. I have a lot of calendula. Well, folks, that is it for this evening. I'm going inside to cook dinner. It was a short little harvest. There's like a lot of volume. Those leaves are huge. I will see you next time tomorrow when we preserve all those herbs and kale chips. Thank you for joining me today. Bye.